get to. Hello. I want to tell you a little bit about Reach Beyond Mission. We began in 2013 and have been leading trips now for the 7 years. We just finished on Saturday with 9 trips with 300 youth from around the country. You want to go? Do I have the power to do that? How do I do it? What do I do? Right button. So our mission is to provide life-changing experiences that equip youth with biblical, theological, and social tools to do justice. And this is our foundational statement, exploring ways to change the systems that cause poverty, learning that youth have power to make a lasting impact with voice and vote, lifestyle and vocation, doing real work in communities that are in need, talking to people in social service, public policy, education, and other ministries, growing in understanding to be partners in bringing about the realm of God, following the teachings of Jesus. So our weeks are a little bit different. We consider ourselves an alternative mission trip program because although we do work with organizations in the community, we really focus on education. We focus on education that talks about the root causes of poverty, that addresses the systemic issues that perpetuate poverty. And we help young people look at ways that they can reach beyond the mission week to make a change long-term in their communities and in the world. Our weeks are made up of all of these aspects. We believe that young people should have an opportunity to be involved in some relational ministry, to look people in the eyes and see their humanness, and do some direct service. But most important is to look beyond a week of service and see how we can make a change in the world. We have several different types of weeks. We focus on food justice, on refugees and immigration, creation, justice and disaster recovery, and poverty and advocacy. So this is at a Food Justice Week, and I thought maybe it would be more fun for us for me to share a little bit about what our young people learn. Every week we begin our week with a little quiz to see what everybody knows so that we all start in the same place. So I thought I brought some prizes. So I thought perhaps if someone could answer my questions, you can have some very fabulous T-shirts or a very fabulous lunchbox. Does anybody have any idea how many Americans do not have dependable, consistent access to food? Any idea? How many Americans do not have consistent, dependable access to food as of 2017? Those are the last good statistics we have. Any guesses? How many? 25 million. I hear 25 million. Anybody else have a number? How many? 50 million. How many? 2 million. So I have two numbers that are. I actually think 50 million is actually the closest answer. 40 million Americans in 2017 said they did not have dependable, consistent access to food. So I'm gonna give you the prize. Would you like a T-shirt or would you like a lunch bag? Okay. So this is information that we begin our week and teach our young people. So in 2017, how many Americans do you think were living below the poverty line? Anybody have an idea? And everybody's just looking at me. Any guesses? 40 million? That's close. 50 million. The number is 39.7 million Americans were living below the poverty line. So why were there 40 million Americans who considered that they did not have good access to food, but 39.7 who live below the poverty line? Because even folks living above the poverty line are struggling, right? Struggling to get enough food. And what they do is they pay all of their other bills first, and then they spend what they have left on food. So, Cindy, would you like a lunch bag or a T-shirt? Okay. All right. Another thing we might ask In 2019, what is the poverty line threshold for a family of 4 in the United States of America? Does anybody have that number? So the United States government sets a number, an income number that they determine to be the poverty line in the United States. That if you make this amount of money or more, then 4 people should be able to live on this amount of money. Any ideas? 32,000 is what I hear from my regional minister. 27,000 is actually closer. For a family of 4, $25,750 in the United States of America for 2019. So who said 27? Would you like a lunch bag or a shirt? Would you like to help her find a shirt? So you might be surprised by some of these numbers, as are our young people when we begin the week. By the end of the week, not only do they know the numbers, but they have some strategies and ways that they can address those issues in their own communities. We've had middle schoolers who've gone home and planted a community garden at their church because they've learned that many people struggling with food do not have access to fresh, healthy vegetables. So that's really what we're about, is helping young people look beyond the Mission Week. I have a few more pictures. One of the ways we educate our young people is to let them have opportunities to be a part of simulations. This is a simulation from the food bank in Washington, D.C. This young man was in line for the food pantry, and about the time that the simulated food pantry, and about the time he arrived for the food pantry, the person in charge of the simulation went up and put up the sign that the food pantry was closed. And this was his response, which is a pretty realistic response. So he did not get his simulated food for that day. This is Reverend Beverly Goins from National City Christian Church in Washington, D.C., who is leading our young people in a reflection at the MLK Memorial on Thursday nights of our week. This is Meg Coffrin. She is just graduated from high school in Round Rock, Texas. In Austin, in our mission weeks, our young people engage in a mock hearing in the Texas Capitol. So she was pretending to speak on a bill about food justice, a real bill that was actually proposed in the Texas legislature. And she went through the process of learning how to do that. That was Meg as a freshman in high school. This past year as a senior in high school, Meg really did testify at a hearing in the Texas legislature, addressing some concerns for high school curriculum in Texas. Andy? Andy? Oh. This was a speaker in Dallas one summer who brought signs that were representative of the labels that folks use to speak of people that are struggling in our country. And we talked about those labels, and we talked about what those labels mean and what they do to people. The youth in their final worship service changed the labels in response to what they learned during the week. We were very fortunate at Reach Beyond Mission to be part of the Incubate program of the National Benevolent Association. We finished that Incubate program this last December, and now we're part of the Connect Ministries program of the National Benevolent Association. We were also very pleased to be added as a partner of the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ in the Southwest. This summer and last summer, we were very pleased to work with Disciple Volunteering and Week of Compassion in Texas City. Since we began in 2013, we've not only had young people from the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, and the United Church of Christ, which was our target audience, but we've also had groups from these denominations, which was a joyful surprise to us. We've seen about 2,000 young people now since we began in 2013. One of the best parts of Reach Beyond Mission are the college students that come to come and help us lead every summer. They apply in January. They work for us for the whole summer. They get a little scholarships directly to their university when they finish. They learn about the issues related to poverty. They learned about leadership. They learned about teamwork. One of our staffers from the summer is sitting here with us. This is a group from a couple of years ago, and that's one of the great things that I have learned that I never expected when we began this program was what fun it would be to work with college students and see their growth throughout the summer. So that's Reach Beyond Mission. That's our website, and I'd love to talk to any of you more about Reach Beyond Mission, and I'm happy to answer any questions.